Good evening and welcome to the 2023 World Rowing Awards. We're here at the River and Rowing Museum in Henley-on-Thames, Great Britain. My name's Peter O'Hanlon, World Rowing Commentator, and I'm here with my colleague Camilla Hadland-Horrocks to take you through the evening. The World Rowing Awards are presented each year to celebrate the accomplishment of crews and individuals over the season. We have 6 awards to present tonight, including the Thomas Keller Medal, the highest award in the sport.
Thank you, Peter. The River and Rowing Museum celebrates everything about our beautiful sport and preserves some of its most important artefacts. After an extensive renovation, the museum reopened earlier this year.
The 2023 World Rowing season has been incredible across all disciplines, from the very first World Rowing Versa Challenge at the Indoor Championships to the first ever World Rowing event in Africa, and the recent addition of beach sprint rowing to the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic programme.
The addition of beach sprints definitely calls for celebration. 17 existing Olympic sports applied to add a new discipline at the LA 2028 Games. Beach sprint rowing was the only one selected. Here to tell us more about this historic moment for rowing is the chair of World Rowing's Coastal Commission, Gwyn Batten.
Gwyn, thanks so much for joining us this evening, and especially in light of the recent news of beach sprint rowing being included in the Olympic programme for LA 2028. What amazing news. For those that don't know at home, what is beach sprint rowing?
So beach sprint rowing is a head-to-head race on the beach. Starts on the sand. You come down, run down that beach. Your boat's held by a boat handler. You get into that boat as quickly as you possibly can. Slalom out 250 metres, 180-degree turn, and that's pretty hardcore when you're sprinting. Straight back onto that beach. If you can catch a wave, in doing so, do it. And then you hit the sand, jump out of the boat, and then run back up across the finish line.
So much to enjoy in that sort of short format event. And the sport's been on a bit of a journey to get to this point. Can you tell us maybe a little bit of the highlights from the journey from when it started up to today?
Yeah, so it emerges out of the coastal discipline, which includes the endurance format, which is really, really exciting, but a lot of it happens away from the beach. And one of the things we wanted to do was to try and bring rowing closer and closer to the beach, because we know that's where all the spectators are. And in 2011, after the World Championships, the Endurance World Championships, we did some trials on the beach. And we had around about at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, on a sunny beach, we had around about the same crowds that we'd had the day before at the World Championship final. So we realized there was something about running down to the boats and being on the beach. And then there was, of course, the emergence of the beach games. And the Mediterranean Beach Games was held in 2015, and that was the first time we ran the first full format of beach sprints. It was a steep learning curve, but it was really, really exciting. And then from then on in, the IOC decided to use it as the format for the Youth Olympic Games, for Dakar, and of course in the Asian Beach Games, we got into the World Beach Games, and then potentially we got into an edition of the Commonwealth Games, but unfortunately Victoria's not taking place now. World Rowing had its first World Championship in 2019 in Shenzhen, and we've had 4 of those races since then, which has been, we've just gone better and better. And if you can realize where we were on that very first day of that quiet beach with people coming down and just the spectators coming, to where we were this summer in Barletta, where you had the most epic beach party with the most epic racing going on between. Just an amazing journey in such a short period of time.
It's such a cool vibe, music playing, that finishing funnel, what's not to like? And I think there's so much further that the sport's going to go. Where do you see it evolving on its journey to LA 2028?
Yeah, so we've got quite a few years to go, and to help the teams get their crews together. I think one of the challenges, we've got four World Championships between now and then. We've got Youth Olympic Games in Dakar for the juniors. We've got a lot of continental events will be coming in. And one of the things we're trying to explore is how do we get a World League? How do we get a World Series? How do we help the rowers be able to get out there and maybe become full-time beach sprint rowers?
Wouldn't that be amazing? Thanks so much, Gwyn. So much to look forward to as the sport progresses. Let's take a look at a video of beach sprint rowing in action. at the first award of the evening, the World Rowing Coach of the Year Award.
This award is presented to a coach of a world medalist crew in the current year who has displayed exceptional qualities, often overcoming significant obstacles to succeed.
The nominees for the 2023 World Rowing Coach of the Year: Darren Whiter, Great Britain; Francesco Fossi, the Netherlands; Michelle Darville, the Netherlands; Johan Lidberg, Norway; Ian Wright, Switzerland.
And the winner of the 2023 World Rowing Coach of the Year is Francesco Fossi, the Netherlands.
Francesco Fossi is the coach of the Dutch men's double sculls and men's quadruple sculls, both of whom finished the 2023 season as world champions. He sends the following message.
Thank you for the award. It's really an honor for me, and it's a further confirmation of the amazing job we did the last year together with the rowers and the team. And because Eelco Menhorst, our head coach, set up a team around the athletes that it's me and Javi Bastians that we are really trying to make the guys do the best from themselves and to stimulate them to reach the best performance as possible. And of course, all those amazing results that could not be possible without the rowers. We are ready for next year, and we will see what's up and what the Olympic will bring to us. But now we are really happy with this. Thank you again.
I think Fossi is a good coach because he always tries to find the best way to convey something to you.
I think because he was a very good rower himself, so he can really translate the feeling of rowing to his rowers.
Outside of just having great rowing knowledge, whether it's technical or racing or the mental side of things, I think he's also just a very fun person to be around.
He can explain what you are doing wrong in a fun way. What motivates you to do it better?
At the one hand, he has some experience at the highest level himself, and he's very good at referring that experience towards the crews.
My favorite moment with Fossi was when he was giving us ice cream halfway during a very long session.
Favorite moment was when he jumped in the stroke seat and showed us some real Italian rowing.
He once told me, you know, Simon, your rowing, it's pretty good for you. You know, it's fine.
I remember one training in Austria that he jumped out of the boat and he lay down on the deck of the quad, and they needed to do their training, and he was in his swimming pants behind the boat.
This is something that you wouldn't expect from an Italian, but he really likes to cut his spaghetti with his knife.
Secretly, he really enjoys the pizza with Nutella and strawberries.
I once saw him put ketchup on his pasta.
He likes Dutch stamppot more than Italian cuisine.
We were all surprised, but Fossi is the only one who eats pineapple on his pizza.
Fossi drinks his cappuccinos after 12.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know why he does, because it doesn't seem very Italian to do.
Fossi, many congratulations, you really deserve it, and I'm looking forward to next year, after coming year, to the Olympics.
Congratulations, Fossi. I hope you will stay a long time with us, and I enjoy working with you.
Congratulations. Congratulations for winning the World Rowing Coach of the Year. It's very well deserved, and I think, yeah, I hope you get to win it a couple more years. You definitely deserve it.
Congrats, Fossi. Well deserved. Thanks for all the work, and
yes, also for me, congratulations, and very much deserved.
Congratulations, Fossi. Well deserved, and let's take the win.
You did pretty well for you.
Congratulations to Francesco Fossi and his crews. We could not present the 2023 World Rowing Coach of the Year without a mention to coaching legend Thor Nilsen, who sadly passed away this year on October 5th, on the day of his 92nd birthday.
Thor Nilsen's extraordinary influence wasn't constrained by national borders. He helped Finland's great single sculler, Pertti Karppanen, China's Zhang Shuyan, Great Britain's Steve Redgrave, Canada's Tricia Smith, Argentina's Ricardo Ibarra and Ireland's Tony O'Connor, to name but a few. The Norwegians' impressive coaching record includes 8 Olympic gold medals and more than 30 World Championship and a dozen national titles, all of which earned him World Rowing's Distinguished Service to International Rowing Award.
After running Spain's national training centre at Banyoles, Nilsen moved to the Italian rowing centre at Piedeluco as the technical director. Nilsen also used the centre to further his work with World Rowing's development programme, supporting the development of rowing in nations where it was not well known. This helped increase the number of countries affiliated with World Rowing to grow from 20 to well over 100. We're proud to honour his memory.
And now it's time for our next award of the evening, the Para Crew of the Year. The World Rowing Para Crew of the Year award is given to a para rower or a para crew for their outstanding rowing achievement. The winner or winners have to be a para rower or para crew that has won a World Championship title in the current year.
The nominees for the 2023 World Rowing Para Crew of the Year are Nikki Ayres and Jed Altschwager, PR3 Mixed Double Sculls, Australia. Lauren Rolls and Greg Stevenson, PR2 Mixed Double Sculls, Great Britain. Birgit Skarstein, PR1 Women's Single Sculls, Norway. Roman Polyansky, PR1 Men's Single Sculls, Ukraine.
And the winner of the 2023 World Rowing Para Crew of the Year is Nikki Ayres, Jed Altschwager, Australia.
Nikki Ayres and Jed Altschwager have been unstoppable in this field since joining forces at the start of the year. Not only are they the 2023 World Rowing Champions in the PR3 Mixed Double Sculls, they broke the world best time twice this season, beating the previous time from 2017 by over 20 seconds. Here's what they had to say.
Hey, I'm Jed Altschwager.
I'm Nikki Ayres and we make up the Australian PR3 Mixed Double. We'd like to thank World Rowing and World Rowing's partners for the award of the Para Crew of the Year.
It's a huge honour to take this award out and bring it home. We'd like to thank Rowing Australia, SASI and ACTAS for their support, and more importantly, our friends and family for their continued support. It's been amazing.
And we're looking forward to the season ahead and leading up to the Paris 2024 Paralympics. Thanks.
Thank you.
It was a big year for all things rowing, but a particularly impressive one for para rowing. Out of the 8 new world best times set at the senior level this year, 7 of them were in para boat classes.
Not only that, but para rowing made its debut on the Rothsee, the legendary course in Lucerne, Switzerland, which will host the final Olympic and Paralympic qualification regatta together for the first time next year. Para rowing was also featured as an inclusion event at the 2023 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals in Barletta. Our next award is the Distinguished Service to International Rowing Award. This award is presented annually to someone who has had a long and lasting impact on the sport of rowing internationally at all levels. Previous winners include Thor Nilsen, Anita de France, Dick and Peter Dreisegacke, and many more. This year's recipient of the Distinguished Service to International Rowing Award has been involved in international rowing for over 55 years.
World, Olympic and Paralympic regatta courses spanning the globe bear her mark. For over 4 decades, Svetla Otsetova's experience in rowing and architecture has allowed her to be involved in the design of the world's most prestigious rowing and canoeing regatta courses.
A 2-time Olympian, Svetla saw the birth of women's rowing at the Games in Montreal in 1976, where she won Olympic gold in the women's double sculls. She was only the 3rd woman to serve in the International Olympic Committee and was the president of the Bulgarian Rowing Federation until 2012.
Svetla's involvement with World Rowing began in 1979 as a member of the Regatta Organisation and Installations Commission. This position gradually evolved into a full-time occupation by 1998 as the events director. One of Svetla's main responsibilities was to evaluate the bids submitted by cities worldwide to host World Rowing Cups, World Rowing Championships and Olympic Games. Congratulations to Svetla Otsetova on receiving the 2023 Distinguished Service to International Rowing Award. Let's hear from her now.
I was 16 years old when I became involved in the sport of rowing. The first time I sat in a boat, I totally hated it. It was 57 years ago. My first experience in a rowing competition was a complete disaster as well. The whole crew was shouting at me because I rowed so badly. But despite my appalling performance, we won, and I have loved rowing ever since. One of the achievements I consider the most is the fact that I managed in the same year to win an Olympic gold medal in Montreal 1976 and graduate as an architect with a degree in public buildings. Since then, those two threads, sports and architecture, have intertwined in my life. The construction of the rowing course in Plovdiv was the first regatta project I was involved in, and luckily not the last. I was directly involved in the design and construction of every Olympic regatta venue since 1992. Currently, I'm working on a transfer of knowledge project and available for advice on specific rowing projects, including the Los Angeles 2028 and Brisbane 2032 Olympic regatta venues. During all these years, I had the privilege to meet and work with some amazing people from the rowing community, with world rowing officials, with organizing committees, and as well as with the national federations. Some of them played a crucial role in my career. Thor Nilsen, who noticed my potential and recommended me as a consultant in FISA in the beginning. Matt Smith, who believed in my abilities, and I became responsible for the design of new regatta venues, the upgrade of the existing ones, and the support of the organizing committees. Mike Sweeney and Mike Tanner, who always watched my back, and many more. I would like to say thank you to all of them. In all my work, I have tried to create the most efficient and sustainable design to keep athletes' needs priority, and as a rowing is a team sport, to keep a good team spirit. As a conclusion, I would like to share what Thor Nilsen wrote as a dedication to me on the first page of his book. Your work deserves a book of its own. My work will disappear with me. Your constructions will last for generations. Thank you for the word. It is an honor.
Next year is a big year. Not only will 2024 bring the Paris Olympic and Paralympic Games, it will also mark 50 years of women's events at the World Rowing Championships, with the first edition taking place on the Rothsee in Lucerne in 1974.
At the time, women were only offered 6 boat classes compared to 11 for the men, and they competed over a shorter distance of 1,000 metres. We've come a long way, with women and men now being offered the same number of boat classes at every level of World Rowing Championships and racing over the same distance.
And that neatly brings us to our next award of the evening, the World Rowing Women's Crew of the Year. The nominees for the 2023 World Rowing Women's Crew of the Year are Emily Craig and Imogen Grant, Lightweight Women's Double Sculls, Great Britain. Caroline Florane, Women's Single Sculls, the Netherlands. Women's 8, stroked by Amalia Perez and cocked by Victoria Stefania Petreanu, Romania.
And the winner of the 2023 World Rowing Women's Crew of the Year is Emily Craig, Imogen Grant, Great Britain.
Emily Craig and Imogen Grant are the 2023 World Rowing Champions in the Lightweight Women's Double Sculls, retaining their title from 2022. In 2023, they set a new world best time in this boat class and were unbeaten in all of their races.
We're delighted that Emily and Imogen were able to join us earlier to accept their award in person. Emily, Imogen, congratulations, the World Rowing Women's Crew of the Year, the Great Britain Lightweight Women's Double. You've had a phenomenal season, world champions, European champions, world best time holders. Can you tell me a little bit about some of your highlights for this season?
I mean, when you put it like that, it feels like we did quite a lot, actually, over the course of the season. Probably the first highlight was racing in Bled. It's somewhere that I'd never been before, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And the first race out on the track and crossing the line first was really special. I think other than that, the highlight in terms of the racing was probably in Lucerne. It felt like our most complete race, and winning in Lucerne is just always that little bit more special.
I also particularly enjoyed our semi in Varese. It was nice kind of
having the stars align quite unexpectedly and get a little bonus with the world best time.
Yeah, and then the final at Varese, we've got to talk a little bit about that because that was such a small margin, I think 800th of a second. Any sort of, reminiscence of that Olympic final and anything that sort of prepped you for the year ahead?
I don't think Tokyo really crossed either of our minds down the track in that one. For me, it was very under control. I didn't have any doubt that we would be fine. We'd been working on our sprint and we got to show it, which was quite nice. Watching it back, it was a lot closer than it had been in my mind. But I'm very glad we were on the right side of that in the end.
And the last time I saw you both was in the airport in Belgrade, just after the World Championships. What have you guys been up to since winning the Worlds to rest and recharge?
I mean, it feels like quite a long time ago now. I made a cake for my best friend's wedding, saw lots of friends, saw lots of family, and just really had a chance to rest and recuperate. And the really exciting thing about this winter is it's the first one this Olympiad where I'm actually going to be able to be at the training centre now that I've graduated from my medical degree. So feeling like I've really reintegrated back into the team and at Caversham has been really nice.
So I went to Madrid for a few days and I ate lots of food, saw lots of art, didn't think about rowing, which was lovely.
That sounds like you both had a great break. And you've both been rowing together for such a long time now. This combination seems to have been together pretty set for a number of years. Are you still finding new ways to kind of learn things, especially moving in towards Paris, right? Every millimetre counts, right? Where are you finding those? How are you finding those as such a sort of well-drilled combination?
I think we do a lot of work individually and then come back together and often find that the work that we've done away from the double has moved the double forwards, which is always quite nice. It almost feels like sort of free progress. So we're kind of in that phase a little bit of our season at the moment.
We haven't been in the double since the final in Belgrade. So it's always quite exciting knowing that we've got that to come. And I think every season that we've been in a double together has felt so different. It's never felt like it's going to get stale. There's always been so many different places that we can look for improvements.
Look, once again, congratulations. What an amazing feat to be the World Rowing Women's Crew of the Year. Anyone that you'd particularly like to thank finally before we end?
I mean, the obvious person is our coach, Darren Whiter, who was also nominated for Coach of the Year. It's very much like a 3-man/woman operation, and we certainly wouldn't have got through the aftermath of Tokyo or had such a successful 2 years since without him and his guidance.
To add to that, just the weights coaches, physios, the support staff that don't always get to travel to regattas, they're the reason that we're standing here stronger and fitter and still in one piece.
Well, congratulations both. Great to have you here at the River and Rowing Museum with us to accept the award, and we'll see you next season. Congratulations to both Emily and Imogen. Our next award is the World Rowing Men's Crew of the Year. This award recognises outstanding achievements this season by a men's crew.
The nominees for the 2023 World Rowing Men's Crew of the Year are Oliver Zeidler, Men's Single Sculls, Germany; Oliver Wilkes, David Ambler, Matthew Aldridge and Freddie Davidson, Men's 4, Great Britain; Roman Roersley and Andrin Gulich, Men's Pair, Switzerland.
And the winner of the 2023 World Rowing Men's Crew of the Year is Oliver Zeidler, Germany.
Ollie Zeidler is the 2023 World Rowing Champion in the Men's Single Sculls, his 3rd world title in this boat class. In 2023, he also completed the World Rowing Cup hat-trick, winning all 3 World Cups in the same boat class in the same year. Here's what Ollie had to say on receiving the award.
Dear rowing family, I'm honoured standing in front of this small camera here today to accept the 2023 World Rowing Men's Crew of the Year award. This recognition means a lot to me because it not only honours my achievements this year, but also the incredible performance of my team that always stands behind me, pushing me to reach new heights in the sport of rowing. While I may be alone in the boat, the truth is that there is a dedicated team of supporters, mentors and loved ones who are part of my journey. Their belief in my potential, their guidance and countless hours of work they've invested have played a major role in my successes. 2023 was the best rowing season of my career so far, winning all 3 World Cups, conquering the prestigious Henley-on-Thames Regatta and my third consecutive World Rowing Championships title. All of that wouldn't have been possible without the remarkable people behind me. They are the ones who kept me motivated, who picked me up when I was down, and who celebrated even the smallest successes with me. Winning this award is a recognition of my dad and coach, who've made me the rower I am today. My family, who've supported me always and made me the person I am today. But also the rowing community that had made me one of their own ever since I bursted on the scene in 2018. Thanks to you, wherever the race took place, I feel like rowing in front of a home crowd. And maybe this has to do with the fact that rowing means the world to me. And you could really see and feel when you watch my races that I row with my heart and my soul. As I receive this award today, I'm reminded of the importance of sportsmanship, love, dedication, and the shared values that make rowing such a beautiful sport for all of us. It's a sport that teaches us to dig deep, row with all our bodies at heart, so with a lot of dedication, and tackle daily challenges with a smile on our faces. In conclusion, I express my honest thank you for all of those who have supported me throughout my rowing career. I'm deeply grateful to each and every one of you and your faith in my abilities. Thanks for being part of my journey. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you on the international regatta courses in 2024 again. Cheers.
And now for our final award of the evening, the Thomas Keller Medal.
The Thomas Keller Medal is the highest award in rowing. It is awarded annually to a competitor who has had a long and successful rowing career and who has made an outstanding contribution to rowing as both a competitor and as a sports personality.
The medal is named after Thomas Keller, who was the world rowing president from 1954 to 1989. Known as Tommy by close friends and rowers alike, at 34 he was one of the youngest presidents of an international sports federation ever to be elected. He always aimed to give priority to athletes' interests and consistently aimed to minimise the influence of politics on the sport.
Previous winners of the Thomas Keller Medal include Catherine Granger, Olaf Tufte, Elisabetta Lipa and many others who have made outstanding contributions to our sport. The 2022 winner of the Thomas Keller Medal was New Zealand's Mahe Drysdale, the three-time Olympic medalist in the men's single sculls. Let's look back at that special moment when he received the medal.
It is very, very special. I think you can just look at the names up on that board and they are the legends of our sport. So to be recognised alongside them is a very, very special moment and day. It's been so special to come here to Europe, see some of my past competitors and friends and watch them form bonds with not only the athletes but also with their kids. And the next generation now will hopefully continue that friendship on.
The nominees for the 2023 Thomas Keller Medal are the late Angel Fornia Rodriguez, Cuba, Andrei Sinek, Czechia, Richard Schmidt, Germany, Grace Prendergast and Kerry Williams, New Zealand, Karen Davies, United States of America.
To present the award, here is Thomas Keller's son, Dominic Keller.
Thank you, Camilla. It is my privilege to announce Karen Davies as the 2023 awardee of the Thomas Keller Medal, the highest honor in our sport. From 26 on, the American Women's 8 was the measure of all things for some 10 years, winning world titles and Olympic championships. You, Karen, were much of the time in the center, in the stroke seat of this formidable team. You gave the rhythm and created the speed that made this crew almost invincible. You were instrumental in forming a unity of mental power. Younger and new crew members you took under your wings and made them give their best. But you were also always looking for new challenges. So when it became apparent that the famous Oxford-Cambridge boat race would finally feature a women's race, you inscribed in Oxford to continue your studies and became the stroke of the first women's 8 and won. Along the way, you stroke for your college a men's crew to win the summer 8s. Your rowing career had gaps because of your other career as a lawyer, studying at Ivy League universities of Harvard and Columbia, and then Oxford with accolade, holding a PhD. As a lawyer now, you also champion a number of athlete causes. After a longer professional break, you returned once more to competitive rowing in 2019 and secured the US team the Olympic qualification in the 4. Tokyo was then the goal, but COVID delay cost it dearly and you did not make the team anymore. In true sportsmanship, you were, despite the disappointment, fully supportive of the team. I now, on behalf of World Rowing and the Keller family, award to you this medal for the time being virtually and look much forward to do so in person at the Lucerne Regatta next May. Back to you, Camilla and Peter.
Thank you, Dominic. Karen Davies is a 3-time Olympic medalist in the women's 8 and 4-time world champion at the senior level. She's had an international career spanning 20 years, from 1999 at her first Junior World Championships to 2019, her last World Rowing Championships. Part of the 2008 World Rowing Crew of the Year, this is Karen's 4th nomination to the Thomas Keller Medal.
Karen will be presented the medal at the 2024 World Rowing Cup 2 in Lucerne by Dominic Keller. Here is what she had to say about receiving this honour.
When I found out that I'd been nominated for the Thomas Keller Medal, I looked up the selection criteria and I saw that it comes down to 2 broad categories: competitive success and character. I can't take credit for my competitive success. I was lucky enough to have been born with natural talent, grown up guided by thoughtful coaches, and trained surrounded by tough and hardworking teammates. For me, the real honor of this award is in the character component. It's in knowing that others have seen and recognized how hard I have worked to be a good competitor and a good teammate. When I told one of my teammates I'd been nominated, she said, "You know, I always think about how you used to pick up trash along the side of the road on our warm-up runs. That and all the other little things that you did when nobody was watching. But clearly somebody was watching. She was watching, and she remembered." And that's when I realized that you never know what it is people will remember about you. It's probably not going to be your moments in the spotlight, like when you win an Olympic medal. It's more likely to be the small daily gestures of kindness, like maybe when you notice that a teammate is lagging behind on a workout and you stay and row an extra lap to keep her company. Even though I've retired from competition, I know the work of being a good teammate isn't done. And this is something Thomas Keller understood well. On his 10th anniversary as president of World Rowing, he told his colleagues, "Rowing has taught us the true meaning of words such as comradeship, discipline, self-sacrifice, and personal commitment. And we must pay back our debt of recognition by helping the next generation of athletes enrich itself as we did." For my part, I know my debt is far from repaid. Just as Tommy Keller's most important contribution to the sport of rowing came after he retired from competition, I intend to earn this honor, to earn his namesake award through my future actions and attitude. And for all of you listening, I hope you will strive to do the same.
Congratulations to Karen Davies on receiving the 2023 Thomas Keller Medal. And that brings us to the end of our evening. We want to congratulate all the nominees and winners on their amazing achievements and everyone who helped make the 2023 season so special.
Thank you for celebrating this season here with us at the River and Rowing Museum in Henley-on-Thames, Great Britain. It's been an absolute pleasure and we look forward to seeing you again in 2024.